Good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Saraya Mia. Malaysia has reached the badminton semi-finals at the Olympics for both men's and women's doubles. Women's duo Perlitan and M. Tina triumphed over South Korea, while Erin Chia and Soh Woo-yik defeated India. Lee Zijia has also advanced to the next stage in the men's singles after a win against France this evening.
Perlitina beat world number 10 Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young of South Korea 21-12, 21-13 in under 40 minutes to progress to the next round, while Erin and Woo-yik fought back from a first-game loss to defeat India's Chirag Shetty and Satwik Sairaj Rankireddy 13-21, 21-14 and 21-16. The world number 3 pair, who won a bronze at Tokyo 2020, finished off the quarter-final match in 63 minutes. Both Malaysia's men's and women's doubles teams will face China's world number 1 players for a spot in the Olympic final on Friday.
In other news, social media providers without a valid license by January 1st next year may face fines or jail. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil, however, stressed that the licensing only applies to social media platforms and was not aimed at regulating social media users or content creators.
Pada waktu ini, yang kita tetapkan adalah tindakan boleh diambil di bawah Seksyen 126 Akta Komunikasi dan Multimedia, Akta 588. Sekiranya didapati bersalah, penyedia perkhidmatan boleh dikenakan denda tidak melebihi RM500,000 ataupun 5 tahun penjara ataupun kedua-duanya, dan boleh dikenakan tindakan ataupun dikenakan denda RM1,000 untuk setiap hari atau sebahagian daripada hari tersebut selagi mana the offence ataupun kesalahan itu berterusan.
The new regulatory framework for social media and internet messaging service providers comes into effect Thursday. The service providers will have until December 31st to register before implementation is enforced on January 1st, 2025.
The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, has released details of its regulatory framework, which would require social media platforms to apply for an annual license. Here are the key details. According to the MCMC, the licensing requirement is applicable to social media service providers with at least 8 million Malaysian users. This includes Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Telegram, WeChat, X, and YouTube. The framework is in line with the government's efforts to create a safer online environment for all Malaysians, especially minors. MCMC will have the authority to take action against any licensed service provider for any breach of conditions. Should breaches occur, MCMC can initiate actions ranging from an administrative warning, impose a civil penalty, or compound offences to deal with the breach. In the most severe case, MCMC can suspend access to the platform, deregister the license, or commence prosecution. Meanwhile, the Higher Education Ministry vows to take stern action against any public universities or private higher education institutions involved in the sale of academic certificates. In a statement, it said the Higher Education Department was carrying out monitoring and inspections at all higher education institutions.
The ministry was responding to reports on the sale of fake certifications online, ranging from schools to higher education levels. It added that previous cases of academic certificate fraud had been successfully resolved after public complaints. The cases involved fraud syndicates who deceived victims by using the names of the implicated institutions. The ministry urged the public to remain vigilant and verify the qualifications and information related to recipients of honorary and doctoral degrees through its portal.
The government plans to cut its sugar consumption at all official functions. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil says the decision was made following findings that 1 in 6 Malaysian adults suffered from diabetes, based on the latest National Health and Morbidity Survey.
Salah satu ikhtiar pihak kerajaan yang bermula hari ini, Jemaah Menteri telah memutuskan bahawa semua acara kerajaan ke depan akan mengurangkan penggunaan gula sebanyak 50% dan semua minuman akan disediakan secara gula tidak dimasukkan.
Around 3.6 million Malaysian adults currently suffer from diabetes. Putrajaya has hiked the sugar tax for pre-sweetened beverages from 40 cent to 50 cent per litre. The government also introduced a healthier choice logo for certain food and beverage products in 2017 as part of measures to tackle the country's rising diabetes and obesity cases.
As Malaysia transitions into an aging society, there is an increasing need for post-retirement employment for older individuals to support themselves financially. Lee Yinlan from Taylor's University discusses the country's efforts and future needs in supporting older workers and retirees.
Well, when we look at Malaysia, we are really just starting to see the importance of post-retirement employment. With people living longer, average around 74.8 years on average now, there is a significant strain on pensions. So our government spendings on pensions has been rising, and it is expected to keep going up. So if we compare ourselves to other countries like Japan, Singapore, and Germany, we are definitely behind. So these countries, they have robust programs to support older workers. So in Malaysia, we are still in developing this framework, but there is a growing awareness that keeping seniors active can reduce healthcare costs and improve overall well-being. So we have a lot more to learn, but we are definitely on the right path.
Among the biggest challenges for older people to re-enter the workforce is age discrimination. Yinlan outlined ways to better support the older population for continued engagement in the later stages of their lives.
To support our older populations, we require a few key steps. So first, to provide them a flexible work arrangement. So offering remote work, part-time schedules, and phased retirement programs can actually help the older workers manage their personal and professional lives better. Next will be the health and wellness programs. So regular health screenings, fitness classes, and mental health support can maintain their well-being and productivity. So training and upskilling are also essential. By providing them a targeted training, we can address the skill mismatch and keep the older workers competitive in the job market. So implementing an age-neutral recruitment and promotion process is also important, because we should make sure decisions are based on their skills and qualifications, but not their age. So by taking all these steps, I think we can ensure that the older adults, they continue to contribute meaningfully to the society and as well as enjoy fulfilling life well towards their later years.
We'll take a short break. Stay tuned for more.
Di dalam setiap berita yang dibawa, konteks amat penting. Kami sentiasa membawakan yang tergempar dan terkini. Pastikan Astro AWANI menjadi pilihan anda, tidak kira di mana sahaja anda berada.
Welcome back. Thousands turned out in Iran for the funeral procession of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh, who was killed in a strike in Tehran on Wednesday. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, led the prayers before Haniyeh's body is transferred to Qatar for burial on Friday.
Haniyeh, who played a significant role in negotiations over a ceasefire in Gaza, was killed hours after attending the inauguration of Iran's new president. Hamas has blamed Israel for the strike, but Israel has yet to comment directly on the assassination. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that his country had delivered blows to its enemies in recent days and warned Israelis of challenging days ahead as fears of a wider conflict in the Middle East grow. Hamas's armed wing said Haniyeh's death would have major repercussions, while Iran, which has declared 3 days of national mourning, vowed to retaliate and said the US bore responsibility for its support to Israel.
3 men accused of plotting the September 11 attacks on the United States have entered a pre-trial agreement, according to the Department of Defense. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Walid bin Atash, and Mustafa al-Hawsawi have been held at the U.S. Navy base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, for years without going to trial.
Details of the deal have not been announced, but U.S. news outlets report that the men will plead guilty in exchange for the prosecution not seeking the death penalty. The men face numerous charges, including attacking civilians, murder in violation of the laws of war, hijacking and terrorism. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is widely considered a mastermind of the attacks, where hijackers crashed passenger planes into the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon outside Washington. A fourth plane crashed into a field in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back. Mohammed, a US-educated engineer, was captured with Hawsawi in Pakistan in March 2003. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in the 2001 attacks, which sparked the war on terror and the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq.
Meanwhile, a 17-year-old has been charged with the murder of 3 girls at a dance class in northwestern England. The teen was also charged with 10 counts of attempted murder and the possession of a bladed article.
6-year-old B.B. King, 7-year-old Elsie Stancombe, and 9-year-old Alice da Silva Aguirre died after a knife attack at a dance class in Southport on Monday. 8 other children and 2 adults were also injured in the incident, with some still reported to be in critical condition. Meanwhile, more than 100 people were arrested during a protest in central London on Wednesday night following the girls' deaths. This followed separate unrest in Southport on Tuesday, which came hours after a peaceful vigil was held in memory of the girls. Protesters had attacked the front of a mosque and set a police vehicle on fire. Merseyside police said the violence was sparked by social media posts that incorrectly suggested an Islamist link to Monday's stabbing.
Thailand has begun rolling out a controversial $14 billion digital cash handout scheme today, which Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin is counting on to revitalize the country's economy. However, the rollout appears to have hit a snag. By early afternoon, 10.5 million people had applied to join the scheme, but millions more could not access the registration portal. Many complained they did not receive the text message passcodes to complete the process.
Under the plan, 50 million eligible Thai citizens will each receive 10,000 baht, or about $275 in digital money, to spend on local businesses. The program was a major campaign promise of Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin's Pheu Thai party ahead of last year's general election. The government says the plan will boost GDP growth by 1.2 to 1.6 percentage points, but economists and political analysts have labelled the measures as costly, short-sighted and unsustainable. The program has already faced delays as the government sought ways to finance it. Pheu Thai initially proposed digital wallet payments for all Thais aged 16 and older, but later limited this to lower-income Thais, defined as those with yearly incomes not exceeding $23,000 or having less than $13,700 in bank accounts.
That's all we have for you on AWANI tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Saraya Mia, and we'll see you again.